Welcome to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship, where we keep it real about what it takes to build, grow, and thrive. Here, you'll hear the unfiltered journeys of women entrepreneurs from everywhere. The wins, the setbacks, the lessons, and the behind the scene truths of aligning, starting, and scaling our businesses with purpose. Because let's be real, this road ain't always pretty. From battling self-doubt to juggling responsibilities and facing the pressures to have it all figured out, this hustle can be pretty heavy. That's why this space exists, to fuel you with the motivation, drop strategic gems on the topics that matter most, and remind you you are not in this alone. This is the Woman's Hustle. Welcome back to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. It's your girl, Keisha, aka Coach K. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I get started, make sure you have subscribed to the Woman's Hustle podcast and make sure that you are following your girl on all social platforms at Coach K Transforms. I took a little hiatus, had to get myself together, get the business, make sure, but I am super glad to be back recording new season, new episodes, new guests. And this season is going to be much more powerful than the last. So you see, I am not here by myself if you see me on screen. So I'm allowing my guest the honor of introducing herself. Hello.
Hey. Good morning, good evening, whenever you are watching this, good afternoon. I am so super thrilled. But as far as who I am and who I be, I am Dr. Tajiri, known in these streets as the workplace wizard. What is it that I do? Essentially is I help protect profit by protecting the people. I am the profit protector and also culturologist. And well, as we continue to talk, you'll see how all of that weaves in together. I hail in this great state of Texas.
I would love for you to share what got the workplace wizard started.
All righty. Well, put your seatbelt on, buckle in, because we're getting ready to go for a ride. We are getting ready to go for a ride. So what it is that the Workplace Wizard actually does is we go into organizations and help them to cultivate a culture to where their people want to stay versus where them wanting to leave, do the mass exodus. Because if you take care of your people will take care of you as it relates to your company and your organization. And human resources, not the department human resources. When I say human resource, I mean your actual people. They are the greatest line item, the biggest line item for any company. So I equate it to dating. If you do what you did to get them, to keep them, you don't have to worry about them leaving. So I come in a little bit differently with that approach and hone in on relationships and relationship building. And I do that by way of childhood stories. As you see behind me, The Wiz, which was one of my favorite stories as a child. I just so happened to be watching the movie in my adult years and was like, ooh, there's so many more layers to this. Again, but because I'm now in the realm of leadership development, I see things through the leadership lens practically in everything, whether it be posts that I see, whether it be somebody walking down the street while I'm on my walks. I got to maintain the temple because there's a lot of work to be done. But, just different things come to me, even when I listen to songs, when I see different movies, because I'm in the leadership realm and the niche, I see things a little bit differently. So as I was watching The Wiz in my adult years, I saw, oh my gosh, this is a perfect, simple example of what leadership looks like in the workplace and in whatever environment that we're in. So you've got Dorothy, who is the team leader, the supervisor, whatever word you want to put on her, the visionary. And then you have the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man, who are her team. And they come with different pedigrees, different backgrounds, different strengths, but they all have to work together in order to get to the goal of seeing the Wiz. So that's nothing but teamwork all of the way through, and it's relationship building. And I put it in simplistic forms so that people can understand it, so that it's palatable, then it's memorable. And from it being memorable, it becomes executable. Because how many of us have been in the corporate America field, to where they tell us, okay, you got to go to this meeting, you got to go through this training, and you do it just because they tell you that you do it. And unless it's a subject that you're interested in, you're not really going to do anything with the knowledge that you gained from being in that lunch and learn, that training, or whatever the case may be, the environment is. And once you leave those four doors, those four walls, then you don't do anything with it. So really, what's the purpose of going through the training if you're not going to do any execution with what it is that you learned? So by me simplifying it in childhood stories, that removes the biases that people may have about leadership and what leadership can do, what leadership looks like, the preconceived notions. I mean, just all of that stuff. It just removes the barriers when I come in and I talk about those principles and those concepts through a childhood story. So again, now it's memorable and you can go do something with it. So that's where I am today. I was in a direct sales organization for well over 3 decades, was doing exceptionally well, was on my way to being an emerging leader, the top 1% of the organization. I mean, girlfriend was moving and doing her thing. I had already been in long enough to where I understood the culture, I understood the product, I understood the framework, I understood the process, I understood all of that. And I looked at the teams that were doing exceptionally well, because, you always have an example of what you want.
Right.
And then, with looking at that, it's like, okay, let me hone in on that. How are they doing what they're doing? How are they killing the game? How are they exceeding the goals? How is it that they're doing what they're doing in such an excellent manner and just being on top of their game, versus the other teams that were just barely getting by? Mediocrity was just hovering over them. As I say, doing enough to keep from getting fired. And what I discovered in analyzing both of those is that it was the relationships that the team had. Right. And let me tell you, if you can come in, lean in just a little bit, let me tell you 4 words that changed the way that I really saw leadership. And it was from someone that was my director and supposed to be my mentor and my coach. Notice I said supposed to be. But I found out through these 4 little words where I stood and how she felt about me. I'm a servant leader. When you tell me this is what needs to be done, I'm going to be there and do everything that I can within my wheelhouse to get it done. So that being said, the beginning of the month, I was like, okay, this is what the goal is. I'm going to do what I can to do my part to help us meet the goal as a team. Life happens. And with life happening, my mind was not there. And I just couldn't give everything, was very transparent about that. So the month is over. And I have a conversation with her, through many conversations, because I'm respecting the position. You're my mentor, you're my coach, you're my director. And in one of those conversations, here are the 4 words that not only stung, but it was also a wake-up call for me. So now I want you to lean in. Come close, come close. The 4 words that were told to me were, you cost me money. Yeah. Let that sit.
Yeah, baby.
So as a leader, that let me know that you were more concerned about what I could do for you versus how you could serve and help me be more, so that I could grow, which again trickles down and organically happens into you being able to get what you want and you be greater.
Oh, man, that was a clarity moment.
That was one of them. That was one of them. That was one of them. And as a true leader, you want your people to do better than you. Yeah. Because that's showing how you're able to motivate, how you're able to influence, how you're able to shift, how you're able to pivot, how you're able to help them get from point A to point B and them be successful.
Yeah.
You want to find out how successful a leader is, look at the people that they're leading.
That's a fact.
Okay.
That
So
that is such a fact. Like I love like and just want to stop you for a second because I think that what you're describing is that moment where it was like it's time for me to go ahead and break free from that. Because how long did it take you to say, you know what, them 4 words, it's time for me to move around? What was the time frame in between you hearing those words and saying, you know what, it's time for me to go ahead and do what I got to do and rise up out of here?
it really was instant. It don't
Mm,
take long to figure out something. As Maya Angelou says, when people tell you or when they show you,
fact.
believe them. So, of course, there have been, just like when you're in any other relationship, you see signs,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really cement until something happens.
Right.
And then you can go back and be like, you know what? I saw that. I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Ooh, and that was there too. But we just sweep it up under the rug
We
because
do.
of our loyalty.
We do. And especially as women, we have that sense of loyalty, that sense of nurturing, that sense of, oh, I can make this better. I'm just going to
Mhm.
continue. But I appreciate you, one, being vulnerable and transparent enough to say, you know what, I wasn't really mentally capable of being able to put up for this organization, for my leader that I really looked up to, and things like that, because we get our heart crushed sometimes when those things happen. I
Mhm.
know I did when I was let go from my job. It was like, wow, I was here for 7 years and I showed up at 110%, but it was also that clarifying moment for me, like it's time for me to step into full-time entrepreneurship. And
Mhm.
when you left this particular position, is that what you did?
So that was the beginning.
Mhm.
I believe in Romans 8:28, for all things work together for good. You don't realize what it is at the time, but you later see what
Woo,
position, what
that's a
purpose that
reality, baby.
had
Yeah.
once you get further down the line. So I was that at around that time, here's some other pieces to the puzzle that were happening with me. One, I was writing my inaugural book, and um, I was getting ready to go to a conference. And because of who I am, my character had told her, "Hey, I'm not going to be here, and this is what I'm going for." And she said, "Well, I don't think you need to do that." Now, mind you, that book ended up being an Amazon's bestseller. So
Okay.
obviously, I did need to go do that
Got
because
it.
other people needed to be blessed by the stories and the tools
Right.
that I was able to give out of that book. So again, just the different signs that she had for me, and then that, like I said, that you cost me money moment was almost like solidifying, and I was starting to pull back and hone in on what I was anointed to do, what my gifts were, what I was called to
Mm.
do. And that was just going to be the vehicle for me to be able to do what I had a greater vision for. But I knew I needed something to help get me through there because ain't
Absolutely.
nothing cheap. I needed some
And
money in
and
order to be able to get
I
it
wanna
done.
talk about that for a second because a lot of times and I have these conversations as a women's business coach with women who are in different stages. Some of them are still in corporate America and they're looking to break into entrepreneurship full time. I wanted to stop you there because I want people to understand the importance of funding your business with your corporate job until you're able to step out into full-time entrepreneurship. There is nothing wrong with that. I want these gurus and the social media, I want them to stop making that seem like that is a problem. It is not. Fund
Mhm.
your business with your corporate job money until you are able to effectively leave that job and be able to suffice and withstand your business otherwise. So I just wanted to make sure that I touched on that because I see that whole stigma of, oh, just leave. No, there are people who out here that is real full-time entrepreneurs and they still are in corporate America too. So that is one, and I think that's kind of where you come in with your business, right? Because you have stepped into that entrepreneurial journey and you are still helping those in corporate America. But
Mhm.
what you're doing is you making the changes that you seen when you were in corporate America. And I think that that's super dope. So I just wanted to give you a shout out on that because I love how you spent the block, but spent the block your way, right? Because I think that that's important.
Absolutely. And I believe we teach best what we need most.
Absolutely.
Teach best what you need most, because that's where you see, that's how entrepreneurs come to be. They fix a problem that they see, typically something that they needed. And from there, the whole business grows, the framework grows, everything grows from needing something. Yes, you got to be in tune with that. And that's a whole nother
No,
relationship
we actually
thing.
gonna dive into that though real quick because I think that I want people to understand that clarity and alignment is probably one of the top 5 things that you have to have when you are trying to pursue anything as an entrepreneur. And I think that sometimes as women entrepreneurs, because we as women, and hey, I am a reformed controlaholic, y'all. So I get it. We want to have control over everything. We want to be able to say, I'm in control. I got this. So we won't listen. And I think as women entrepreneurs, that's where we struggle with finding clarity in our journey because one, we're trying to control everything. We're trying to have complete control over the journey itself. And we know when we have somebody higher up that's guiding that journey for us, you can't have that control. You have to be ready and willing to surrender. And y'all, let me tell you, that's one of the hardest things that I've done in my life. Okay. And one of the hardest things that I continue to do, but letting go and surrendering has been phenomenal for me. It has been such a breakthrough. It has been so amazing. And I don't got to have control over everything. I don't want control over everything no more because I want to stay clear on what my mission is, what my purpose is in life, what my passion is, and how I can persevere and perform, which is my 4 P pillars within my organization. So like I would love for you, what do you think that with so much uncertainty that we've got going on in the world, where do you feel like we know that women are carrying like the heavier loads and things like that, but how can them being clear and aligned like really help them on that journey and really just give us some tools that you may have used in your journey? You shared a lot so far, but I would love for you to just share some more that got you as you continue to pivot into this entrepreneurial journey.
So let's just use a GPS. If you don't know where you're going, you may not know exactly how to get there, but you got to know where you're going to be able to put the address in so that it can guide you to where it is that you need to go. And even within that GPS instruction, you can put no tolls, you can do no freeways, you can customize it to what works best for you, but yet you're still going to have someone else, something else to be able to tell you which way to go that's going to be the right way to go in order for you to be able to accomplish your goals, in order for you to be able to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, what the end goal is that you have in mind. And focusing on that one thing. Yes, we can do a gazillion, trillion, million, billion different things.
Again.
But a confused mind does nothing.
Woo! Say it again, please.
A confused mind does nothing. So I'm not knocking as we say, the multiple streams of income. I'm not knocking that at all. You can have that, and we need that.
Right.
But if it's going to be going in different directions, then you can either go left or you can go right.
Yeah.
You can't go right. You can't. you
No,
you
you
can't.
can't.
It's one direction that you can
That is
go
a
in.
fact. I think generating multiple streams, it still has to be in alignment with you, right? Because I definitely have multiple streams of income, but the one thing about it, they are all aligned with my mission as a whole. So when you're saying you want to generate multiple streams of income, where are you wanting to generate these incomes? Are they things where you can just kind of sit and let them flow, like maybe investing, stock market, but you still have to monitor that, right? Is it things like for me, coaching was always my primary source of income. And then I had my book that came out, and now I have another guide that's coming out as I'm recording this. But when you guys see it, it will be out, Becoming Her. But then I also have consultations. I also have a brick and mortar. It's all aligned with me aiding and being purposeful and
Absolutely.
about what it is that I do. So, yes, I do agree with multiple streams of income, but they still have to be aligned with you. When we talk about clarity and alignment, and especially you as an entrepreneur on whatever stage of journey that you may be on, you do have to be clear on that. Do you love something? And also, too, just because you may love something as a hobby doesn't mean you need to turn it into a stream of income. I definitely want to put that
Absolutely.
out there, because so
Absolutely.
many women come to me like, "Oh, I want to do this," but then when it's time for me to start, well, I don't want to. And okay, well, you know what? We just gonna go ahead and close that door, because you really don't want to do it. It's okay to keep it as a hobby, but
So if
be
I can
yeah,
push that envelope further with that. The way that I do my, because like you, I have different streams that all fall
mhm,
under my framework, under my umbrella. So
that's
I've got the coaching, I've got the books, I've got the speaking. Um, I'll be doing the membership soon, and very, very soon. I've got the workshops, I've got the trainings, I have
right.
intensives, but it's all built around leadership
Exactly.
development. So I have the umbrella here, and then there are the different legs that come under that, so that it's not a hard pull and not a lot that's being taken out of me to be able to add that extra layer or what have you from there. So with that being said, again, you got to be able to just concentrate on that one thing and let it grow, let it manifest. And as I do in my coaching with the with entrepreneurs, and they come to me just like you, trying to figure out what it is that they do,
Right.
or what do they wanted to do as a business. What I tell them, or get them to start thinking in the very beginning, is what is it that people come to you for all of the time, that you easily give them advice, you easily give them information, you easily give them nuggets, you easily give them the know-how, whatever it is that you do without thinking twice about it. So if they wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning out of your deep REM sleep and ask you a question about it, that you can spit off the answer and give them, then that's what you need to do, because it's second nature for you. And that's, build that momentum with that vessel first,
Yeah.
and then go into the other areas.
I
Because
love
what you don't want to do is start doing something and then be burnt out and then completely quit it, and you don't have anything to show for it. Entrepreneurship ain't for the weak.
that.
Even if you have,
Listen.
um, you know, gotten left corporate America to go there, and you had all of those things set up, because there's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs, there's going to be some valleys.
Mhm.
You know, there's
Right.
that different level of what happens. So are you that person that can handle, it's like you mentioned stock market, can you handle the
Yeah.
ups and downs of
Volatility.
what's
Yeah,
going to
very.
come? Exactly, the volatility. So can you handle that, or are you somebody that needs something that's going to be more structured? If that's the case, then you need to stay your behind in corporate America. You need to stay your behind on that job, and
And we
don't.
say that with love, y'all, but it's just the reality.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Everybody
But
ain't
I'm
built
also,
for entrepreneurship. It's the
it's
facts.
not.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship will test your faith.
Mhm.
It will test your friends. It will test your finances. It will test your family. Oh Lord, I'm on the F thing here. It's
I
it's
love
gonna
it.
test
I
a
love it.
whole lot of that. Your faith, your family,
Yep.
your finances. I'm gonna have to remember, note to self for later on. But
Period.
your faith, your finances, your family, your friends, it's
Mhm.
gonna test all of that. Your foundation. What are you built on? And sometimes we can grow so fast in our business that what we thought we had a good foundation on, we see that there are cracks, and we
Yep.
got to go back and fix those. So trying to get everything set up as best you can, um, up front,
Right.
that is going to make a huge difference. Get all your systems in place, your automation in place quickly.
Right. And being open-minded to making those adjustments, right? I tell people this all the time. If you knew everything, you would already be successful, right? So you've got to be open minded to know that although you may have a great vision, there may have to be modifications in that vision. Be okay with that. Get people on your team who are going to be just as open minded to share that with you. I see so many of us want to enlist the people that are not on that same journey with us. And if you are an entrepreneur, you have to have an entrepreneur tribe. I'm not telling you got to abandon your friends, your family, but if they are not doing anything similar to what you are doing, one of the clarity moments I need you to understand is I got to find a tribe that is. So
They're
I
like
know that
minded because
I
they
am getting,
understand.
yep, I know that I'm getting the support that I need, the encouragement, the insight. You need all of that. So I will tell you this before we get ready to wrap up. You've got to know what it is that you want from start to finish. Everything is not going to be black and white. There are going to be levels of uncertainty. There are going to be moments where you don't see the finish line, but you have to be willing to take the first step to get to the next
Mhm.
step. That's what you
You
got to
don't
do.
know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. But if you are passionate, purposeful, and you're ready to persevere and perform to your best capability, then be okay with taking those steps and be unapologetic about it. Because if you'd have asked me in 2019, I'd have told you I am not trying to start no business. But guess what? God seen otherwise. And that's what he wanted from me. And 5 years later, this is where I stand. Not saying that I
Absolutely.
ain't had no reroutes and no restructures and strategic insight, but I have a support team that's helping me with that. So
Absolutely.
either one of
Absolutely.
us is able to help you with those journeys, guys. So you can definitely reach out to me. Y'all know that. But Doc, I would love for you to share a lasting motivational tip of how someone can gain the clarity and what they need to do to if they were wanting to start that today.
First, be true to thine own self. Be true to thine own self and be unapologetic about it. 'Cause you said that before, and when I say be true to thine own self, know what you will and will not do.
Yes.
Know what you're capable of. Know what your scope is as far as your wheelhouse. Know again capabilities. If you know good and well, and there's my southern vernacular coming out. But if you know good and well that you can't do XYZ, then why in tarnation do you want to go try and do it or go down that road that is going to require you to do XYZ? You know you're gonna fail. You're setting yourself up for failure up front before you even get started.
Yeah.
So know, again, be true to thine own self. Know what it is that you want, what you have the capability to do, and what you're able to do
Yes. I
with
love
the
it.
capacity and the ability, because those are two different things.
Yeah. It's
Two
facts.
two totally different things. In knowing thine own self, know that you need somebody to help you.
Mm,
The
that part.
vulnerability, because you can't do it. So you cannot do it by yourself. And because I've been in this game for over 3 decades, I think I may have a little something, something that I can show you some shortcuts on how to get a specific place or how to go down a certain road. I know what's ahead, what's coming around that corner. So when you look at getting your coaching and your mentorship, what what are they street creds? I'm just gonna say it that way. What are their street creds, and how can they help you in that game? If they, and then here's the other thing: if your coach don't have a coach, don't go to that coach, because that means that they're not growing and learning so that they can pour into you as well. When I tell you I got 1, 2, 3 coaches, and I'm in a mastermind to where I have access to other coaches within that, because I want to grow and be the best representation, not only for me, for my business, but I want to be able to pour that excellence into those that come to me. Because if I say that I'm going to be able to help you through this leadership journey, I need to be able to know what I'm talking about. I'm not just, talking out the side of my neck. I need to be able to have some deliverables to go with that. And within having those deliverables, I would only be able to know those things that I needed to have in place if I didn't have the coach.
I cannot tell you enough how much I really enjoyed this conversation today and just all of the gems that you dropped, but also just sharing your story. Because I know, and this is why I do what I do with the Woman's Hustle. People need to hear the transparency, the vulnerabilities, the shifts, and all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for sharing all that. Please let us know where we can find you at: website, socials, all that good stuff.
I keep it very simple so that you can find all of that in one place. And that is via my website, which is dr-tajiri.com. So that's Dr. Dr. hyphen T as in Tom, AJIRI.com. From there, you'll see all of my socials. Just click the icon and it'll take you straight to the page, and you can continue to follow me there, whether it be LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm on each of those platforms. But let me tell you, if they say in their in the comments, or if they inbox me, DM me, or what have you, that they found me by way of you and they mention the podcast, I got a little something, something for them. I can do a quick consultation with them to help them figure out their leadership styles, to help them figure out what they need to do in leadership in their organization so that they can grow and move forward, so that they can be the best at all, best of what they want to be and be all that they want to be. Because I believe my goal is to be able to serve 1,000 leaders by 2030.
I love
1,000 leaders. But again, if they just reach out to me, let me know that they heard me here, then I will be able to help them as far as on their yellow brick road to their Emerald City.
Absolutely. I love it. You guys heard that. So do not hesitate to reach out. Her website link will be in the podcast show notes, so you will be able to get to that quickly. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing all of your value and wisdom. If you definitely got value from this episode, let us know in the comments below. Share this with somebody who may be aligned with looking for someone to help them with leadership skills, someone that's ready to help them embark on their yellow brick road. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel and the podcast. Until the next time, y'all. Peace.